Picture this. You wake up one morning, look in the mirror, and decide today is the day you finally go after the life you've always wanted. You're ready. You're fired up. And then a little voice in the back of your head whispers 3 words that stop you cold. You're too old. That voice is lying to you, and today we're gonna prove it. Welcome back to the channel. And if you're new here, I am so glad you found this video, because what we're about to talk about could genuinely shift the way you see the rest of your life. I want to start with a few names. Vera Wang, Colonel Sanders, Grandma Moses. 3 people you've probably heard of. 3 people who changed their industries, built their legacies, and became household names, not in their 20s, not in their 30s, but well into midlife and beyond. Vera Wang designed her first fashion collection at 40. Colonel Sanders franchised KFC at 62. And Grandma Moses picked up a paintbrush for the first time at 78 and went on to become one of the most beloved folk artists in American history. These aren't exceptions to the rule. They are the rule. We just don't talk about them enough. Society has done a masterful job of convincing us that youth is the only window for achievement, that ambition has a shelf life, and that the golden years are meant for slowing down and stepping aside. But the data, the science, and the stories of real people all point to something completely different. So today, I'm breaking down the most powerful, practical tips for not just surviving your golden years, but absolutely thriving in them. Whether you're 50, 60, 70, or beyond, this one is for you. Let's get into it. The very first thing we need to address is the story you're telling yourself about your age, because mindset is the foundation that everything else is built on. Neuroscience has shown us time and again that the brain is neuroplastic, meaning it retains the ability to form new connections, learn new skills, and adapt throughout our entire lives. The brain at 65 is not a diminished version of the brain at 25. It is a wiser, more emotionally balanced, more experienced brain. It processes information differently, yes, but in many ways, better. So the very first tip is this. Catch yourself when the "I'm too old for this" thought creeps in and replace it with a question instead. Ask yourself, what would this look like if age simply wasn't a factor? That single shift in framing can open up a world of possibilities that fear and habit had quietly closed off. Your beliefs about aging directly shape your experience of it. Choose beliefs that serve you. Now let's talk about the body, because physical well-being is a cornerstone of everything else. You don't need to train like an athlete or push through pain to reap enormous benefits from regular movement. Walking is genuinely one of the most powerful and underrated forms of exercise available to us. 30 minutes of brisk walking most days of the week has been shown to improve heart health, elevate mood, sharpen memory, and reduce the risk of chronic illness. That's not minor. That is transformative. As we age, strength training becomes particularly important because it preserves muscle mass and supports bone density, both of which naturally decline if we don't work to maintain them. You can start simply with resistance bands or light dumbbells at home. Yoga and Tai Chi are beautiful practices for building flexibility and balance, and they carry a meditative quality that benefits mental and emotional health as well. The goal is never to compete with who you used to be. The goal is to feel strong, mobile, and energized in the body you have right now, today. Something that doesn't get nearly enough attention in conversations about aging is purpose, that deep sense of why you get up in the morning. Research on the world's longest living populations, from Okinawa in Japan to Sardinia in Italy, consistently identifies a strong sense of purpose as one of the key ingredients in not just a long life, but a genuinely good one. So here is an honest question worth sitting with. What lights you up? What makes you lose track of time? It might be mentoring someone younger in your field. It might be the book you've been meaning to write for 20 years. It could be gardening, painting, traveling, cooking for others, or advocating for causes you believe in. Purpose doesn't need to be dramatic or world-changing. It just needs to be authentically yours. Write it down somewhere visible and let it shape how you spend your days. That clarity will do more for your well-being than almost anything else. Let's talk about learning, because here's something the research makes beautifully clear. Lifelong learners are happier, sharper, and more resilient. The idea that education belongs to the young is one of the most limiting and simply incorrect beliefs our culture holds. Adults who continue to challenge their minds with new knowledge and skills consistently report a stronger sense of identity, greater cognitive health, and deeper satisfaction in daily life. And the access has never been better. You can take a free online course in almost any subject imaginable. You can join a local class, pick up an instrument, learn a new language, start a podcast, or dive into the world of photography. Libraries are free. YouTube is free. The sheer volume of knowledge available at your fingertips right now would have been unimaginable to previous generations. There has never been a better time in human history to be a curious person, at any age. Social connection is the next piece of this puzzle, and it might be the most underestimated factor in well-being across all ages. Research has found that loneliness carries health risks comparable to smoking heavily every single day. And yet, as we age, our social networks can quietly shrink. Friends move or pass on, colleagues retire, children build their own lives elsewhere. This doesn't happen all at once, which is partly why it can sneak up on us. Maintaining and building meaningful connections requires intention as we get older. Reach out to old friends you've lost touch with. Join a group or club organized around something you love. Volunteer in your community. It gives you purpose and connection at the same time. If technology feels accessible to you, video calls and even social media can be genuinely wonderful for maintaining closeness with family and loved ones who are far away. Human beings are wired for belonging. Protect that in your life. Financial peace of mind deserves a real, honest conversation too, because it underpins so much of your ability to enjoy this chapter of life fully. If you're in or approaching retirement, take the time to sit down with a clear picture of your finances, income, expenses, savings, and goals. If it feels overwhelming, working with a trusted financial advisor can bring enormous clarity and relief. The stress of financial uncertainty is one of the biggest barriers people face to actually enjoying their golden years, and facing it head-on is always more empowering than avoiding it. It's also worth recognizing that many people in their later years find ways to generate income from work they genuinely love. Consulting in their professional area, coaching, writing, teaching online, selling art or handmade goods. Decades of experience and knowledge are genuinely valuable, and the digital world has made it easier than ever to share and monetize what you know. Don't underestimate the weight of everything you've learned. Finally, let's give sleep the respect it deserves, because it is foundational to everything. Your mood, your memory, your immune system, your heart health, and your ability to regulate emotion. Sleep is when your body repairs itself at the cellular level, and when your brain literally clears out waste products that accumulate during the day. As we age, sleep can become lighter or more fragmented, but that doesn't mean poor sleep is simply inevitable. Prioritize consistent sleep and wake times. Keep your bedroom cool and dark, reduce screen time in the hour before bed, and watch your caffeine intake in the afternoon. If sleep is a persistent struggle, please talk to your doctor. It is absolutely worth addressing. So let's bring it all together.
Success in your golden years doesn't come from pretending age isn't real. It comes from refusing to let age define your limits. It comes from choosing a mindset that opens doors instead of closing them. It comes from moving your body, feeding your curiosity, nurturing your relationships, living with purpose, protecting your rest, and taking your financial well-being seriously.
But more than any specific tip, it comes from recognizing what you actually are. You are someone who has lived, who has loved and lost and adapted and kept going, who has accumulated wisdom that no 25-year-old on earth can fake. That is not something to apologize for or minimize. That is something to build on. Your golden years are not a winding down. They're an opening up to clarity, to intention, to the things that truly matter. Age really is just a number. The life you choose to build around it is entirely up to you. If today's video added something to your day, please hit the like button. It makes a real difference in helping this content reach the people who need it most. Share it with someone in your life who could use a reminder that it is never too late. And if you haven't subscribed yet, join us. We publish new content regularly on living fully and intentionally at every stage of life. Until next time, take good care of yourself. You have earned every single year. Now go make the most of them.